What's up, gamers? Tears of the Kingdom is finally out, and it's already become an internet sensation because of its extremely high review scores and the extreme creativity of its massive player base. I'm looking at you, Armored Mech Suit Guy, and I really want to give my own thoughts on what makes this an absolute masterpiece. Nintendo's chef d'oeuvre, their magnum opus. But I can't. Let's get into it. I want to say this right off the bat. As gamers, we have been repeatedly let down by studio after studio launching games that are not finished and to some degree broken. Some of those games were great, like Jedi Survivor. Others were not so great, like Redfall. And those games were released on some of today's most powerful hardware. But across the board, it seems to be the trend and mindset to just release the game as soon as possible and patch it later. Tears of the Kingdom introduces a new gameplay mechanic where you can literally pick up and combine things in your environment and build almost anything you can imagine. The sheer amount of physics processing and if this then that programming here is mind-blowing. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is quite possibly the most ambitious Nintendo project we have ever seen. Yet it's running on a mobile processor that was built 8 years ago, and it works on launch day. Do you see what I'm saying? I shouldn't be so shocked, but I've almost come to expect these big titles to be busted at release, and Tears isn't, despite running on a tablet with 8-year-old technology inside. And I think that alone is a reason to offer Nintendo our respect. I mean, I'm sitting there playing this game and wondering how my Switch isn't catching on fire. So when I say I can't review this, what I mean is, how do you review the Mona Lisa, the Sistine Chapel, Mozart's Don Giovanni? You can't. They are priceless works. The artistic vision is astounding. It's breathtaking, and as far as I'm concerned, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom belongs in the ranks of priceless works within its medium. Tears is equal parts action, exploration, puzzle solving, crafting, and epic storytelling, all wrapped into one experience. Experience. That's the word. I can't review this game because it's more than a game, it's an experience. And it is very difficult to express everything that makes Tears of the Kingdom so wonderful. There have been multiple instances where I had thought I had played for about an hour, only to look at the clock and realize it had been 3. This world, this experience, it's just so easy to get lost in. It's so easy to just run through a beautiful field, fight a few bokoblins, discover a shrine, solve its puzzles, run over the next hill, discover a cave, find its treasures, meet an NPC on the other side of the cave and help them out, which then leads you to the next thing. And before you know it, your whole afternoon is gone. And the puzzles, they have littered the world with puzzles, giving you 1,000 tools and said, figure it out. I don't know how you would write a walkthrough for this game, because there's never really just one way to solve any given puzzle. There might be 5, 10, 100 different ways to solve the puzzle in front of you, and they're all fun. I've known for a long time that the level designers at Nintendo were geniuses, but this is a whole new level of genius, and yet it works. The experience works at launch. Let me stop and just say that I am in no way a Zelda fanboy. You're not listening to some fanatic gushing over a franchise he loves. I have played a few Zelda games, sure, but some of them I didn't even finish. I'm saying all this as a man who has played and loved games of every genre from every platform and wouldn't really be sad if Nintendo never made another Zelda game again. I don't feel any loyalty to the franchise. And I'll also say that Tears isn't perfect. Does it sometimes have frame rate dips below 30? Sure. Do textures sometimes look a little muddy? Absolutely. Does your horse stop running sometimes because it gets stuck on a rock? Yeah. Did I care about any of that while I was playing this? Not even a little, because the experience is that good. We get some great voice acting, a lot more story elements than we typically have with a Zelda game, some fantastically airy piano-driven music throughout the adventure, an absolutely massive open world to explore, There's no way I'll ever have time to see it all. The Sky Islands are incredibly well designed and illustrated. The caverns beneath Hyrule literally add a sense of depth to the game. The weapon variety is overwhelming. Combat is solid and fun. Boss battles are epic in a way that you won't forget for years to come. This entry into the Zelda franchise deserves every bit of praise it has received. Parents, there are two things I would say you might want to consider before picking this up for little kids. One is, within the first 15 minutes, you meet your enemy, who is mummified in a cavern beneath the castle. He is resurrected as you approach and attacks Link in a scene that could be fuel for nightmares. It only lasts about a minute, but I'll be honest, I did have to cover my kids' eyes during that part. The second thing is, there is a lot of reading in this game. A lot of reading. The controls are very complex and the gameplay is challenging. If I handed my 6-year-old a controller, they wouldn't be able to play this. However, both my kids have loved watching me play this, and they like telling me where to go and suggesting ways to solve stuff, and that has been pretty fun in its own way. The game is rated E10, which means they suggest you be at least 10 years old to play, and that feels perfect to me. Just take all that into consideration, especially if you have a 5-year-old who wants this. So how does one score something that transcends a mere game? How do you score such an experience? I can't. I just can't. All I can say is, it's worth every penny of its $70 price tag, and I hope you have the opportunity to experience it for yourself. And if that's your plan and you've enjoyed this non-review, consider helping out the channel by clicking the Amazon link in the description below. It helps me out at no extra cost to you. I hope you'll consider leaving a comment, liking, and subscribing. I'm working really hard to turn this channel into a community, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. And here's a dad joke for you. Why are YouTube descriptions safe from Ganondorf? Because there's too many links down there. Stay kind and encouraging out there, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip.